There was two ladies there, but one was talking about her twins who both had autism. And she said, until they had individualized medicine in the form of kinesiology and an autonomic feedback testing, these two twins were treated with exactly the same medications for their autism. And she said as soon as she went to autonomic testing with them, their programs changed, and what they were receiving was quite different. And she noticed a marked improvement and a change in, their behaviors and their functioning and everything when this change came about. And we see that with the patients, and we're caught between what we're supposed to do within the norms and then what we need to do for the individual. And the way that we try to accomplish that in my office is we have a balance between the science and the background stuff, but then we try to test against the individual's reaction. So before they go out of the office, when they take supplements, or we individualize their treatment so that we know that their system is more likely to respond.
Thank you so much for that. And I am Eva Marienchild with Dr. Tim Brown. And after the break, we're going to talk about how Dr. Brown can address health solutions for people. And we'll be right back. Stay with us.
More natural therapies with Dr. Tim Brown after these short messages.
Are you struggling with a dental or oral health issue? Dr. Norm Ickert from Ickert Dental Implant Center is committed to improving your quality of life with the very best in modern and advanced dentistry. You can catch Dr. Ickert on the Health Channel for the Healthy Smiles Oral Health Show here on localwebradio.fm and at the Ickert Dental Implant Center in Langley at 866-981-1381. That's 866-981-1381.
Hillcrest Bakery and Deli presents Old Time Radio on the Specialty Channel on localwebradio.fm. Hillcrest Bakery and Deli prepares a delicious home-cooked meal, including dessert, just like Mom did. One weekend each month with specialty dinners for Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. A favorite among locals, these individually prepared meals always sell out fast. Pre-order by calling Hillcrest Bakery and Deli at 604-531-1750. That's 604-531-1750.
Buying or selling a home on the Semiahmoo Peninsula? Catch up on local market conditions on This Week in Real Estate with Lance and Connie Marples from Sutton West Coast Realty on localwebradio.fm. To schedule a face-to-face consultation, you can reach Lance and Connie at 604-538-8888. That's 604-538-8888. And visit them online at www.surreywhiterockhomes.com.
Would you like to get more from the devices you own? Not quite sure where to start? There is help. Catch Powering Up for Non-Techies with Justin Martell, Computer Department Manager at London Drugs, on the Specialty Channel on localwebradio.fm.
It's time now for more Natural Therapies with Dr. Tim Brown.
All right, we're back with Dr. Tim Brown, and we're talking about how people need a healthy body and a healthy brain in order to enjoy a full life, and he's telling us how we can do that. Welcome again, Dr. Tim Brown. How have you tried to address these needs that you just discussed about how important it is to have individualized approach, how is it that you address these needs in your clinic?
Well, I've done a number of things over the years in the clinic, but one of the things is I sort of have an upstairs process with naturopathic services, and then I have another aspect of the business that I run out of a downstairs office in the same building right now. And the downstairs, we call it Body and Brain Solutions, and down there the idea is to get the average people with things that they want to address and deal with some of the basic things without needing all of the, let's say, higher tech naturopathic kind of approach to things. So in the downstairs, it's really started with the brain neurofeedback as a way of correcting or helping people with the brain functions. In the brain, we look at it as you have an operating system, just like on a computer. And if that operating system is malfunctioning, then none of the programs or things are going to be making sense and integrating properly. So with brain neurofeedback, you can do assessments to measure what different parts of the brains are doing, and then you develop feedback so that you train the brain, just like you train your body your nervous system to ride a bicycle. You learn how to balance it and then, turn one way and another way, and then to get to the point where when you're competent with that, you can start doing more tricks and more interesting things. So downstairs we have neurofeedback assessments, and we've combined that because the brain doesn't operate on its own, but it's really dependent on the functions from the body to work properly. We've added in exercise with oxygen and some simple nutritional products that have been shown by the Canadian government to balance out mood and help reverse some of the brain problems that are going on. And then we use vibrational stimulation where you're on vibrational plates and things, because that stimulates your cerebellum, which has to do with coordination and proprioception. So we have that going for, people can do that without huge assessments and things like that. Upstairs we have naturopathic services, which include therapies, assessments both, and treatments, but for structural interferences such as motor vehicle accidents, athletic injuries, back problems, ligament injuries, things like that. We have assessment for nutritional deficiencies and hormonal problems, that type of thing. We also provide services for detoxification, so chelation of heavy metals and or viral infections can leave toxic load in the system. And these are things that we've developed modules in the clinic to assess and deal with. And then the final area, the one that we deal with as well downstairs, is the integration of the nervous system and how things, you can have conflicting programs and belief systems that affect how your body and things perceives the world and reacts to it. And so these are areas that I would like to discuss the kind of distinctions in further shows, the kind of distinctions that people need to make and understand, so they can understand why different types of therapies might be used, or why, like when people go, for instance, for acupuncture, why acupuncture, has a benefit on the system, or why laser therapy or these regeneration injection therapies like prolotherapy or PRP, how do they work, and why should I go and look into these things or not? And why can't I just fix my system with exercise, for instance? Why doesn't that work? Or weight loss programs, it's like I go on the weight loss program, but I don't lose weight. What's happening? There must be something wrong with me.
But it's all pieces of the puzzle that you need to put together.
Right.
Like the whole mind-body solution, which is what you've got down pat.
The term I use is solving your health puzzle.
Exactly. There we
puzzle
go.
Pieces, find the puzzle pieces that need to be put together and put together a puzzle. But let's try to start by making it fairly simple so we don't get overwhelmed by the complexity.
Right. Like the high-tech that you referred to. Could you give me one example of a high-tech naturopathic approach?
Okay. One of those things would be guided ultrasound for injections. Now things are moving to the point where actually the ultrasound improvements over the past 10 years or so have gone to where there's really high-tech imaging, where it used to look like fuzzy moon shots when the astronauts, were on the moon and everything was kind of fuzzy and gray and hard and indistinct, to now where you have high-definition imaging. And the injections, they've now discovered that you can find where nerves are compressed or injured and causing what they call nerve pain or neuropathic pain. And they're able to identify these under ultrasound and actually do what they call hydrodissection of the nerve, where they free it. And what happens is you can see it on the imaging, but it's like when something is two pieces of plastic are kind of stuck together like a balloon or something, and you're trying to blow air into it, and it won't go through because latex of the balloon is stuck. But if you squirted some water in there, it would open it up and free the balloon so you could get air back through there. Well, on imaging, for sometimes like with Raynaud's phenomena, where people's hands go cold and or turn blue in the cold, they found that if they find the nerve pathways and inject them, they instantly can change the phenomena in the hands.
Wow.
This also can occur in the neck with some of the nerves that go through the neck and arm, and also in the legs and in the feet. So this is an example of high-tech movement where you've got guided imaging, like a GPS system that guides you when you do your treatment.
That sounds like it might also help in sciatica with the pinched nerve, huh?
Yes. It's not just sciatica. From the medical tendency is to look at them as nerve root problems, but there's a whole area of peripheral nerve injury and understanding and treatment that has come. A lot of it has come from a doctor from New Zealand. I call it the pain lift-off technique, but it's actually called neuroprolotherapy or neuropathic treatment. There's a whole bunch of names for it, but it's understanding how to treat peripheral nerve injuries, and we would discuss that if we have a topic on chronic pain.
Right. Yes, we do have a lot of stuff that we're going to cover in future podcasts, and you've touched on a few. Can you just give us a quick rundown of what you would like to discuss in future podcasts?
Well, I think the areas where I have information that would be useful to listeners and things would be the area of chronic pain, anti-aging medicine, and the whole thing with baby boomers, because there's a tendency, to look at, using hormones and things like that, and of course the athletes and their doping and things. But the anti-aging medicine is an interesting area, and I want to help make some distinctions about that. The hormonal health, the big 6 hormones that need to be focused on, which ties into anti-aging medicine. The role of what they call regeneration, injection therapies to help rebuild tissues, I think is an important area where people need distinctions. And the one I'm going to try to talk about next is oxygen utilization, and energy is all about oxygen and its utilization. I think that's a huge understanding. And then from there's some things like children's health and allergies, and your immune system is important to, again, understand the concepts and some of the pitfalls in the current sort of ways that we treat things.
Wonderful. So it sounds like you are going to give us a whole bunch of information. But Dr. Brown, do you have any final thoughts you would like to share with us?
Well, I think the final thing is we had a talk last night, and at the end, it's all about raising consciousness on the planet. You have to have a healthy body and a healthy brain. And the brain needs